Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Roundtable Talk episode 3. Well, today's topic is HIV/AIDS and the epidemic. And we were discussing before we went off on break, we were discussing about HIV/AIDS and where it came about and everything. If you have any comments and questions you would like to know or have your own topic, you can email us anytime. Like I said, at roundtable00@yahoo.com. Once again, roundtable00@yahoo.com. Getting back to our subject with AIDS and the epidemic, I want to talk about basically AIDS has been around since 1981 from my resources. Now I really want to talk about, it's been a talk, and I'm just gonna get up here. It's been a talk that AIDS have came out as a result from homosexuality, meaning gay people, homosexuals are the cause of HIV/AIDS. Um, for my sources, no, you know, And what I from my sources is that what it said that there are a rising number of HIV/AIDS cases and homosexuality, but heterosexuals as well have rising number of AIDS slash HIV slash AIDS cases as well too, meaning that it's not just in the homosexual thing. And terms they're trying to say that gay people came out with AIDS came from homosexuality. You stick what I'm saying, two men get together, bam, they get AIDS, and then they pass on to one. They feel that AIDS came from homosexuality. But in reality, no one really knows where HIV/AIDS came from. No, everybody has this different rendition of how HIV came about, and they feel now that still HIV is a result of AIDS. They're giving this rendition that HIV/AIDS is more of a homosexual thing. In my opinion, it's not. HIV and AIDS is growing among people, period. Regardless if you're straight, if you're gay, if you're a man that dresses up in women's clothing, if you're a cat, dog, rat, blue, black, white, gray, green, turquoise, plaid, whatever you want to call it, it's among human beings. You can't just opt out HIV and say, oh, it came from the homosexuality, from men having men, because women and men have sex all the time. And it seems from my resources and what I was told, this is one of my resources. I'll probably tell you it in a minute. It tells you, and I quote, and I'm going to get the resource in a minute, so I'm going to let y'all know where I'm coming from. Hold on one second. But HIV/AIDS is rising in the community. It really is. I mean, it's sad to see that they opt out one type of you know people, as far as homosexuality, and they feel that it comes from them. I'm not saying that I promote homosexuality. I'm not saying that it is right to be gay, but you don't sit up here and blame someone's sexuality for the epidemic. You don't sit up here and say, okay, gay people are the ones that are causing the AIDS, HIV, because in America, HIV and AIDS is rising amongst human beings, regardless of what your sexual orientation is, what your ethnic background or race or whatever the case may be. It is growing, period. And it does say when AIDS first appeared in the U.S. in 1981, a large degree of stigma and discrimination as AIDS was being linked to gay men and IV drug users. You know, and it was basically what they're trying to say is that they linked HIV and AIDS to gay men and IV drug users, which I feel is, in my opinion, false allegations. You know, That's what they were saying. And now these days, they still are thinking that way. There are most researchers and most people are still thinking that way because they feel gay men are passing AIDS and HIV around more than a heterosexual will. And I feel that is wrong. Why? Some of my opinions might offend y'all, some of my opinions might be wrong, but I'm getting my resources. And I feel basically everybody's passing AIDS around. You can go as a straight man and a straight woman go around, because I've seen a lot of people. I've seen people sending me text messages and stuff, and I've seen the alerts where be aware for this man and this woman, or this woman or this man. They go around passing, fucking all these women and men, and and I look at it as if you can't opt out the sources oh, just because they're homosexuals, they have sex with other people. And I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna read some of the stuff, saying some of what I've been reading, and this is from one of my sources, and it was saying basically about and I'm gonna read a little bit of it. This is from one of my sources, and it's a local newspaper from where I'm at, Miami, Florida. It's a local newspaper. It's called the Miami Times. It's a local black syndicated newspaper that caters to the South Florida area. Um, and it was talking about the CDC. Um, I'm sorry if y'all don't know what the CDC is. The CDC is, I'm so sorry, the Centers for Disease Control. And they was basically one of the people that was also talking about the disease was coming from black people. Not black people, I'm sorry, from homosexuals. And I felt like really, to me, it is wrong. You know, that's like discriminating on black people as far as their race. Because if you look at it, a lot of the homosexuals out there will tell you this is an outrage or this is crazy because not all of us are here pass the disease around because there are people out there, there are gay people out there that will think that's offensive, and that to me, to me, it will be discriminating. I'm not saying I'm gay. I'm not saying saying promote homosexuality, but I'm a man of rights. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man who stands up for rights. I stand up for what I believe in, and I believe that you just can't opt out one set of people because you feel that's where majority of, you know, the causes are coming from. And no, it's not. It's not. It's not coming from. And basically, it was like, and it was also this saying that a lot of people need to be informed about it, which is true because you don't have a lot of people now that are informed about HIV and AIDS. They're not teaching it in schools like they're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? You have these young little 15, 16-year-old kids out here having sex, and it's not like how back in the day when, what I'm saying, when I was growing up and, back in the day, like in the 90s and 80s and stuff like that in the early days, sex wasn't as hot as it is now. Now it is hot. Every little thing that walks by, man or woman, whatever, what I'm saying, somebody gotta, fool around. And it was basically that's what it is. And that comes to what I was talking about. A lot of these youth these days are not informed. We're gonna talk about that, what I'm saying, after we come back from the break. But a lot of these youths are not informed. I'm gonna tell you why. Because basically now these days, AIDS to young people is not, for what it says, AIDS is no longer a front issue. You know, AIDS is on the back burner. Because a lot of these days, a lot of the stuff that you see, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Because we got to go to a more commercial break. But AIDS is not a front issue anymore to young people. You know, and we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk more about the AIDS HIV epidemic. This is the Roundtable Talk episode 3 with your host C Money, and we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come right back, so stick with us. Roundtable. Holla.